welcome to a new episode of Athletics for Life podcast. We're your hosts, Jeff and CD. And on our show, we like to interview interesting people in the world of sports, people that have learned lessons through sports and have carried those with them into their current role. This year, we're focused mostly on interviewing athletic directors in Asia, to get an idea of how do they run their programs, what are some cool and interesting things that they've done either in the past or are currently doing with the challenges of COVID. And today is no exception. We've got a great guest for you with a ton of experience. So Jeff, if you don't mind, could you introduce our guest?
Thanks, CD. Another great guest for you guys lined up. We're going all over Asia. Today, we're going down south for us. We're going to India. We're going to Bangalore. We're going to talk to John Burtkin. You might have seen his name. He writes also some articles for School Rubric. That's how I found him. He works in Bangalore at Stonehill International School. He's been in Korea before, originally from the US. Tons of experience, like CD said already. So I think you should just get your notebooks out and watch the podcast and write some stuff down, because he has some really good things to share with us all.
I found that although I love the classroom and I love teaching and the interaction in the classroom, I found that the impact I made as a coach on the actual individual and on their personal skills, not their academic skills, but their personal skills, what they can learn about themselves, what they're capable of achieving, put in stressful situations, right? And especially for teenagers, I've been, teaching since 1991, again, dating myself here, but working with high school kids is great because, they're almost adults, but they're not adults. They're still operating on that emotional level. The amygdala is bigger than any other aspect of their brain. And so they're nervous and they play on their emotions. And so their biggest fear is this thing called adulthood right around the corner, and am I capable, of achieving the expectations that people have for me, right? And so I found that in sports, I build confidence. That's the thing. You build confidence and you take kids and I've coached at different levels, right? I've coached novice athletes and I've coached experienced athletes. And to be honest with you, I love coaching the novice athletes because they're the ones that don't bring any garbage into it, the baggage into it. They just come and want to learn, but they question themselves, and they're the tough ones to get to take a risk. So when you say, hey, do this, they're not so sure that they'll give maybe 25, 50%. And it's not because of an attitude, it's because of the fear that they can't do it. But when you coach them through it and they finally can do it, boom, light bulb goes off. It's super exciting to see. And they're ready to do the next step, right? Whatever it is. And it's also an opportunity to really teach character because, as they say, right, person's true character comes out in competition. And so we can look at ourselves and we can see and we can reflect upon what works and what doesn't work, right? I don't want to put it in a negative light, but a lot of coaches out there, they lose the focus of what's really important. And I did too. One of my biggest lessons early on was, of course, you're a new coach, you want to win, right? So you got to get out there and you got to focus on winning. And the reality is you don't focus on winning, you focus on the process and the successes that come within the process. My wife would laugh at me because I would come home every practice and I'd be so excited about practice today. Oh, this happened in practice, that happened in practice, such great practice. And then I'd come home from a game and I wouldn't say a word. And she'd go, did you win? Oh yeah, we won. Well, aren't you excited? Well, yeah, I mean, things happen like they should happen, whatever. But, I was more excited about seeing those light bulbs go off at practice. And so the philosophy, when I first wrote down my philosophy, right, it was probably like 3 pages, right? But now it's really 3 sentences. And the first one is to get the athlete to believe or trust, interchangeable, believe or trust in themselves, right? Get them to believe in themselves. So that's the first thing a coach has to do is work with the athlete, believe you can do it, trust you can do it, get out there and do it, work hard. And then the second one is once they start to believe in themselves, they need to believe in their teammates. Because how often do we have that athlete that is afraid to pass to the other teammate because the other teammate isn't as good and they're going to make a mistake, right? And as we learn from watching the Netflix special on Michael Jordan, he didn't start winning championships until he passed to his teammates, right? Until he gave the others an opportunity to be success or fail, right? And he found that they could be successful too, right? And so giving your teammates the opportunity, it builds up growth. Well, you know, I'm from the Bay Area, so we got the Warriors, and I think that the greatest thing about Steph Curry is not his shooting, it's the ability he has to make others better players, you know, giving them the opportunity, you know, to be successful or not be successful. And then that team grows around it. And then finally is believe or trust it can happen, right? Meaning that it doesn't matter who you play, it matters how you play. So I'll use an American football analogy on this. If I'm a lineman at the end of the line, right, tackle we call them, and there's a play where we have a sweep, so somebody's supposed to come around the outside of me, running back's supposed to come around the outside of me. My job is to get and hook the defensive end, right, just to get him his way, block him, and so the guy can run outside. Well, if I get up to the line of scrimmage and I look and this guy's 100 pounds heavier than me, and I'm focused on how big that dude is, right, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's big and he's all these things, I'm focused on him, then I'm taken away from my own job and what I can do well. And maybe I'm really quick off the line. And if I'm focused only on what I got to do, then when that ball is snapped, I'm quick off the line. I may find that I'm faster than him. And yeah, maybe he crushes me, right? But I got in his way. And that running back got around the corner and we were successful. I don't have to beat that guy up. I just have to do what I got to do, right? And so if you focus on what you have to do in the best of your possible way you can do it, then let the cards fall. And that's how upsets happen, right? And I've had some of the most, you know, the greatest coaching experience I've had have come in losses, you know, and because you've had incredible games. And at the end of the game, when you don't win, one of two things happens. Either you lost, which means you didn't play well. You just didn't play well. You know, you didn't live up to what you could do, or you played well, you played great, and that other team played better. And you know what? That's a great experience. There's so much value in that, right? You just tip your hat and you say, hey, man, awesome game. Great job. I feel great about what I did. You're better than me today. Let's play again tomorrow. So that's why, you know, where we in sports, where I think you build those things, and it's just an incredible experience that that not just kids, adults, anybody can experience when done right.
All right. So we just wrapped up our interview. Great interview.
Yeah, definitely. And I really, like I said in the podcast, I'm getting jealous of how some people can just vocalize the philosophy so well. You can see he's very experienced in what he's doing. He knows why he's doing certain things and how he's doing it, and how he vocalizes that in 3 very simple sentences. He went from 3 pages to 3 sentences. We want to thank John for his time today. It's great how we have all these people on the podcast CD this season. We're learning so much from everyone. And every time I'm just getting so much information that I have to sit down sometimes and just write it down for myself. And because there's so many things that I can take away from my programs, but I cannot do everything. So again, you know, thank you, John. Great to have you on today.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone who's watching or listening at home. Make sure you like and subscribe. That way, the next time we have a guest that will have something to say that could resonate with you, you'll be right there with us. So thanks again to all of our listeners and subscribers. We appreciate you. Take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.